declaring, "We make the law and we can break the law."
Okay.
hmm
Ah,
He says
wow.
he asks whether the MCP's chief superintendent and the assistant minister for corrections has been notified, was told they had not, and was informed that visit was authorized above the Ministry of Justice's Corrections Department. Kolako says he then called both officials, Chief Superintendent Colonel Roosevelt Bunning and Assistant Minister Gabriel Fayad, and Pula, who told him they had no prior knowledge of the visit. Kolako says he ordered the inmate in question, who had been outside for exercise, back to his housing unit and resume his regular duties overseeing roughly 1,800 inmates and nearly 100 officers. Kolako alleges that Siafa Bam Kemokai they then arrived at MCP with several Liberia National Police officers and order his arrest in what Kolako describes as a calculated attempt to provoke prison officials or officers into resisting, which he feared could have triggered unrest that inmates might exploit to attempt an escape. He says he left the scene without incident to avoid his officers witnessing the arrest. He says he was then taken to the LMP headquarters when, according to him, where he was held from August 1 to August 7 without a formal statement being taken on August 3. He alleges he was compelled in the presence of senior Ministry of Justice prison officials, NSA agents, and LMP Unit 105 to have his mobile phones brought in and to surrender his passwords. That evening, he says he was accused of cartel membership and of receiving payments from drug traffickers, allegation he denies. Kolako says he refused an instruction to go home that night, choosing to remain in custody until he felt his safety was assured, and used the time to alert co-workers and family to his situation. He says he was released on August 7 and handed a suspension letter alleging he had disrupted an email interview involving an external security agency, a charge his deputies, uh, nothing he does not drink or smoke, and questioning why he was referred to LMP custody rather than the Ministry of Justice's Internal Disciplinary Board, his background and appeal. In his statement, Kolako described 12 years in law enforcement following 9 years as a classroom teacher and 3 as a National Transit Authority conductor, saying his net monthly salary never exceeded US 2024 and that he has maintained what he calls an unblemished record. He named 4 individuals he asked the public to keep in mind as the matter is investigated: Siafa Ban Kemokai, Lawrence G. Boland, Samuel Lance Jasper, and Raymond A. Mason. Kolako closed his statement with an appeal to Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Councilor Oswald Entwe, NSA head, Right General, retired General Prince C. Johnson, Minister of National Defense, Right Retired General Geraldine Jr. George, Johnson, LMP head of Colonel Gregory O. Coleman, Sarah Beslo Yanti, and the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia, asking that detainees held in connection with the multi-million dollar drug case be moved to a secure holding facility abroad. He suggested Morocco. pending trial to avoid undermining the Vargas administration's anti drug campaign. All right, so that's it. We can take one more story from the online version of the front page Africa newspaper. And this is going to be our very, very last story. I'm trying to get to this story. And let's take this story as our final story here this morning on the online version of the front page Africa newspaper. And this story is going to be our final story before I send controls to Esther to run us through the online version of the Liberian Observer. So, this is our final story from the online version of the front page Africa newspaper. LDEA boss Biago recuses himself amid allegation of receiving vehicle from drug trafficker.
Hmm.
Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency officer in charge Fitz Gerard T. M. Biago has temporarily recused himself from the functions of his office as he comes under mounting public pressure over an allegation that he received a vehicle as a gift from a drug trafficker or persons allegedly connected to a drug trafficking organization. Biago announced the decision on Saturday, saying he requested the temporary step aside while the allegation concerning him is independently investigated. In a post on Saturday, August 8, the LDEA chief categorically denied receiving any vehicle, gift, or benefit from a drug trafficker or anyone acting on behalf of a drug trafficking organization. He stressed that his decision to recuse himself should not be interpreted as an admission of wrongdoing, but rather as an effort to protect the credibility of the investigation and prevent any perception that he could interfere with the process. My decision is not an admission of wrongdoing. It is an act of institutional responsibility intended to protect the integrity of the investigation, prevent any perception of interference, and preserve public confidence in the LDEA, Biago said. Biago announcement follows sustained public pressure from activist and publisher Mati Kiat Colley, who has repeatedly raised questions surrounding an alleged gray pickup vehicle and its purported connection to individuals involved in the illicit drug case. Colley, who heads a newspaper, has made the allegation a subject of public debate, increasing pressure on the LDEA leadership to address the matter. Biago previously denied allegation. Biago's decision to temporarily recuse himself marks a key development because it comes after previous denials surrounding allegations involving him. The LDEA has, in recent months, repeatedly used its communication department to respond to reports and claims concerning its officer in charge. In June, the agency rejected reports that Biago was contemplating resignation amid pressure from ongoing investigations, describing the reports as baseless and without merit. In July, the agency also issued a clarification concerning claims about a man identified as Jonathan Momolu, who was allegedly being portrayed as Biago's official driver. The LDEA said a review of its personnel and assignment records found no record that Momolu had been appointed or assigned as Biago's official driver and said he was not an employee of the agency. The latest controversy, however, has produced a markedly different response from Biago himself. Rather than simply rejecting the allegation, the LDEA chief has now opted to remove himself temporarily from the agency's leadership functions while an independent investigation takes place. The institution must always remain greater than the individual. Explaining his decision, Biago invoked the principle of institutional accountability. No institution can effectively demand accountability from others while appearing unwilling to submit itself to the standard, he said. Esther, I think because of time,
Yeah.
two stories enough, so we will
Mm-hmm.
send controls to you for the continuation of the dailies.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have before me the Daily Observer, and we will take some stories here this morning. We see Traore breaks silence, rejects drug cartel's allegation, and it's right here. Let's see some lines. Who is this Traore person? I'm not familiar, but let's see. I hope this is
Mm,
okay. We have international football agent and sports development executive Ibrahim Traore has publicly denied allegations linking him to the ongoing multi-million dollar narcotic investigation, describing the claims as false, misleading, and unsupported by credible evidence while inviting authorities to conduct what he called a lawful and impartial investigation based solely on variable facts. In a detailed public statement issued over the weekend, Traore rejected reports and commentary circulating on social media, online platform, and radio talk shows that sought to associate him with the recent seizure of approximately US 370 million worth of suspected cocaine in Liberia. His response comes as the country remains grappled by one of the largest narcotic investigations in its history, an investigation that has already resulted in multiple arrests, the dismissal of senior government officials, and heightened public security of individuals whose names have surfaced either officially or through public speculation. The statement marks Traore's first comprehensive public response since his name began appearing in media discussions surrounding the investigation. I categorically deny any involvement in this matter, Traore declared. I have never participated in, facilitated, financed, or been connected to any way or in any way to the criminal activities being alleged. Any attempt to associate my name with this case is false, misleading, and unsupported by credible evidence. We will leave it here. Let's look at more stories. We have LCIF Hills Clemenceau Uri as foundation reaches historic US 52 million grant milestone. This is here. You can grab a copy and read that. We have LDEA chief rescues himself amid Toyota bribery allegation. We never heard about that. And let's look at more this morning. We have why do so many patients died at JFK?
mm,
This is interesting. Let's see
very
some
much.
some lines
Very, very interesting.
from this story. It says,
The other data
when a
one way say JFK that just for killing. So let's see why do so many patients died at JFK.
yeah, doctor blames late referrers as express call for stronger county hospitals faster emergency care. It says when a patient dies at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, public reaction is often swift. Questions emerge on radio talk shows and social media. Why do so many people die at the country's largest hospital? Is it a failure of doctors, inadequate equipment, or collapsing healthcare system? An insider has given the public a glance into what could actually be some of the reasons. According to Dr. Sam N. Morgan, a physician at the JFK Medical Center, The answer is far more complex and brings and being long before many patients ever reach the nation's premier referral hospital. Amid renewed public debate over mortality at JFK, Dr. Morgan is a social media, in a social media post, argued that the overwhelming majority of deaths cannot be viewed in isolation from the country's broader healthcare system, where delayed referrals, inadequate specialist services, outside Morovia, and late presentation of illnesses often leave doctors battling conditions that have already reached critical stages. Many patients arrive at JFK only after their conditions have significantly deteriorated, making treatment far more difficult, Dr. Morgan said. His comments have reignited an important national conversation, not simply about why patients die at JFK, but about whether the healthcare system is referring patients too late, leaving the country's only major ter- territorial referral hospital to comfort illness that might have been treatable much earlier. Established in 1971, the JFK Medical Center serves as the country's principal territorial referral and teaching hospital. It mandates differs fundamentally from that of clinics, health centers, and county hospitals. JFK is designed to receive the country's most complex medical cases, patients requiring specialist physicians, advanced surgery, intensive care, and sophisticated diagnostics services unavailable in many lower level facilities. That distinction, health experts say, is often overlooked by the public. Unlike community clinics that privately manage routine illness, JFK receives patients whose conditions have frequently progressed beyond the capacity of local facilities. Consequently, mortality at a territorial referral hospital cannot be interpreted in the same way as mortality at a primary health center. The referral challenge. At the heart of Dr. Morgan's argument is a country's referral system. He illustrated a problem by recounting a case of a diabetic patient initially treated at the ELWA hospital before being transferred to JFK after her condition worsened. According to him, such referrals occurred every day. JFK provides specialized services that many other facilities are unable to offer, he explained. The implication is significant. Every referral represents a patient whose medical needs have exceeded the capacity of another institution.
Mm.
While referral systems are essentially components of modern healthcare, public health specialists warn that delayed referrals subsequently reduce survivor's rate, particularly from trauma, stroke, severe infections, obstetric emergencies, kidney failure, advanced diabetes, sorry, and complicated surgical conditions. By the time many patients arrive at JFK, valuable treatment time has already been lost.
Wow.
Although Liberia does not routinely publish comprehensive national statistics on hospital referral volumes or all cause in hospital deaths at JFK, making precise 5 year mortality comparison difficult. Available advance consequently shows that the hospital operates under enormous pressure.
Wow.
But this is the story, Wendell, and I'm not gonna go to the end, but I think we've already gotten,
Mm.
what we should get from this story. But I hope we can make this one of our talking points, Wendell. We have Liberia raises to train its own fistula surgeons. Okay, this is good. Let's see this story. It says, for more than a year now, three Liberian doctors have been far from home, hunched over operating tables at the St. Paul's Hospital Millennial Medical College in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, learning surgical procedures that most hospitals in their country cannot perform. The doctors, Dr. Asatu S. Kroman, Keita, Dr. Alexander F. Walikor, and Dr. Numini Ernest Enders are undergoing 2 years of advanced fellowship training in audiology and pelvic floor reconstruction, a surgical specialty that treats the bladder, reproductive system, and rectum, including pelvic floor disorders. Their studies are part of an effort by the government of Liberia, the Economic Community of West African States, and the United Nations Population Fund to reduce the country's dependence on foreign surgeons to tackle the growing number of fistula cases, one of the world's most devastating childbirth injuries. ECOWAS provided $245,000. Based on the Minister of Health request, UNFPA and the ECOWAS General Office, both institutions agreed to sponsor the doctors. UNFPA sponsored one doctor, while the others are being supported through funds provided by the ECOWAS Gender Office in Dakar, Senegal. Dr. Norwi Dolo Dennis, fistula focus person at the Ministry of Health, said in an email. In Liberia, the lives of fistula survivors are marred by high cost of treatment and a lack of trained surgeons, forcing many to rely on foreign visiting doctors who provide annual treatment. The country has only three ologist Dr. Ayu Kassel III, Dr. Lavala B. Kotuma, and Dr. Solomon Conan, all based at the JFK Medical Center Clinic. Dr. Ayu K. Kassel III, a consultant at the JFK Medical Hospital, said these hurdles have left many women waiting months for free surgeries provided by foreign doctors or even years worsening their condition by the time help comes. We now these are all of the stories so far I think we want to take this morning. Let's send controls to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Esther. And those are all the stories we got to share with you from the Liberian Observer. That's the online version of the Daily Observer. And we also brought you the front page Africa newspaper. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll draw you closer to our talking points. So stay tuned as we take word from our sponsors this morning. The program is from the Pre News, a regular future year on this radio from Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So our break is up next.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hand, call the right authority. Tell it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it. And I mean you cheche, you wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, On the set to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper. The people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper. Stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper. Crime Stopper Liberia. On the set to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-side justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
He said, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, so going deep and deeper. Put in thought to each living sense in her.
Thank you very much. Let's before we can get to our comments, we will be looking at the stories from the front page Africa and the Liberian Observer relative to the Session May or the allegation level against the officer in charge of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency and the issue at the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. Those are stories we're going to be looking at this morning. And, Esther, there was an allegation level against the officer in charge at the LDEA that one of the vehicles in his convoy was bought and given to him as a gift from one of the traffickers. Okay, and so the officer in charge has categorically denied the allegation that he's going to recuse himself from the investigation, for credibility's sake. So let the investigation go on, and if he's found, guilty of those allegations, let the law take its course. So I think it's a good move by the officer in charge because you can be part of an investigation that you're being accused of, that you have some link with some of the traffickers. So having you part of the investigation, is not a good thing. So he has finally recused himself. Let the investigation go on. If all those allegations level against me is true, then I'm willing to face the full consequence of the law.
Of course.
So that is where we are, relative to this drug case. But another issue raised by you about the JFK, Esther,
Exactly.
that's very serious. The
Yeah.
last time we were here talking about, the statement made by one lawmaker, Tai Wongwei.
Hmm.
Tai Wongwei described the JFK as a place. The acronym, the JFK, he said the J stands for just, and the F is for, and the K is for killing. So that story you read this morning, reminds me of the
Right.
assertion made
Right.
by
Right.
the lawmaker.
But Wendell, let me just come in a little bit.
Hmm.
With what I've just read from what the doctor said, I see every possible reason why stuff like that will happen.
Okay.
Because first of all, JFK is a referral hospital.
Hmm.
A lot of people get ill, go to the hospital. Already we know how we are. We normally don't go to hospital. We don't go to clinic until we are really not able to move, really sick before we go to the hospital. We always feel that when our head hurt, you go to the drugstore, you buy something, take it, and that's it. You don't even know what caused the headache. So you're not really concerned about going to the hospital to do lab and all of that. So when you get serious, let's say you go to the clinic, when the clinic cannot handle it, they see, stuff, the next thing they do is you gotta refer this person to the JFK. And the doctor now is telling us that most of these people go there
When
at
they
a
are the verge
very
of death.
exactly where the medicine can't even work anymore.
Hmm.
And I see a possibility, Wendell. Several times you have seen people being transferred in ambulance from this clinic or this hospital rushing to go to JFK. Sure, there's a possibility. And that's one of the reasons why some of these hospitals, when you go there, they refuse you.
Hmm.
The reason why they refuse these sick people is because they see the possibility of death. Now we complain that when you carry your patient, they will be taking the time, they refusing the person, all of that. It hurt anybody for that matter. You can be rushing your sick person to the hospital. The next thing the hospital refuse or the clinic refuse that person is very worrisome. But then at the end of the day, we should also reason. Even though I'm not here defending JFK that they don't have people who are very careless on their job, they are careless people, like the case of the girl who went to give birth where the temper with her spine.
Hmm.
I mean, that was careless. That was
She's
careless
she's
work.
she's damaged today.
Exactly. So there are bad apples in the system, but also my people, this is a referral hospital window. There is a possibility that people can already be at the verge of death before going there, and the doctors are not God. They will do what they are able to do. At the end of the day, if you were to survive, if God wants you to still be on this earth, you definitely remain here.
You
So
you you.
even though our health system is crippled, it's not, to the standard we want it to be. Uh, all we can do when there is to continue to advocate that more money is allotted in the budget for the health system so that our country can be on path. And JFK should not be the only referral hospital. I know we have the 14 military hospital. We should also think about building more hospitals. This country is so small, window with the number of natural resources that we have. We should not be struggling for things like this. Look at the capital city. The capital city is so little. I mean, very little window. In less, if there was no traffic on the road, in less than an hour, you will have traveled the entire country capital.
Hmm.
I mean, it's very little. Moreover, it's just a handful. It's just from right here to right here. I mean,
Yeah.
you're already out of months Morovia. And
Hmm.
other cities are way bigger than that, you know. And so our government should not keep telling us, making it look like we don't have money, we're not getting donor funds. You are getting a lot of money. Do you know how many cars are out there in the street window? These people are paying taxes. How many people out there working in the various government entities and they're paying taxes? They are paying taxes. Apart from government workers, private institutions, people pay taxes, businesses, a lot of other things. So instead of just allotting a big portion and give it to one man because he's heading or he's handing certain thing, where he's not even the one who doing the most work. The people who are the engineers or not, they are the ones doing the actual work. They are just there big shy in their offices and giving orders. Sometimes they don't even that. The only thing they can do is to dot the I and cross the T's. That's all they do. The people who do the most work don't even get much. So in short, I'm just trying to say that we have the money, we have the natural resources. We should think about these things. Our healthcare system is important. It is very important. The government should do all it can to be able to send people out there, go and study. I don't know how you do your plan, study, and let a person be, indebted to the institution, work for the institution
Yeah.
for a certain number of years before you can move forward to whatever you want to do. Because this is investing in your own citizens. You're not investing in strangers. And this is what the nation should do for her people.
That's true.
People should go to school, even on loan window,
Mhm.
and they take it from your salary bit by bit. Other countries are doing it. And I don't see why we're not doing it window because the country's small. What in here? What do we have? We don't have correct rule. I mean, nothing we have that's perfect.
Look, Esther, I mean, you struck a very important point, but let me just come in with my 1 cent
Go ahead.
into this issue.
Mhm.
Esther, what you said is true about people going from one hospital to another before when the situation get worse, before they can think on going to a bigger hospital.
Mhm.
And at that time, it might be too late. There are too many factors responsible. Esther, in this country, people don't have money.
Mhm.
Sometimes you wake up in the morning, your joints are paining. You got this headache, you got this backache. I mean, your some part of your body is aching, and you want to get medication. So you will end up getting to the nearby drugstore and explain your condition,
Mhm.
and the pharmacist will recommend
Yeah.
something for you to take.
Medication.
And you see, sometimes it's always good to conduct a test. Esther, let me share my personal story with you. I remember one time, by then I used to live in Crewtown.
Mhm.
I remember one time I had yellow jaundice,
Mm.
and I didn't know it was yellow jaundice. So I decided to do the Western treatment.
Mm.
And that Western treatment, you know what it was doing to me? It was killing me.
Oh.
Yes. So when my aunt of mine visited the house and asked for me and said, no, that man is admitted. But then I was admitted at a clinic.
Mm.
So my aunt said, let me go and see him. When she got to the clinic, she just put her finger or thumb on my eye and said, no, you're not supposed to be here. They think are doing you so that yellow jaundice. It's not for Western drugs.
Mm.
So we have to discharge you and take you back home. So I said, I said, Aunt, are you sure about this? She said, yes, that jaundice. She said, we don't want born you. So we know what thing happening to you.
Kenny.
So Esther, and she was right. The woman took me home and she said, somebody know this job. But then Esther, I've not stood for about a week.
Wow.
I'm telling you. So this guy came and he just fixed the rest knot.
Mm.
This rest, he fixed it, mix it up with the kind of medicine for the jaundice. And he told me, he said, my man, just eat this. To even choose at that time was war for me. So I managed to chew the rice in split seconds, Esther. It's like somebody took a whole bucket of water and whisked it on me. I was sweating profusely. I'm telling you. Everything on me was wet. And the next thing I noticed, my stomach.
Started stirring.
Exactly. Esther, that's how I got safe. But all the time I was down there taking Western drugs, I was dying. I didn't know that until my auntie came. Peace be to her ashes now. So you see, a lot of us can do these things. When we're sick, we're not go to do tests or to know what's really happening to us. We just say because my head hurting, my stomach, my this, so you will go and just take anything. At the end of the day, you be killing yourself. When you are at the verge of death now, when they take you to the JFK people see you, they say, no, we can't take this person. My thing is, take the person. That's a hospital. When people go there to treat them, even if the person is at the verge of death, take them and help save their life. But that thing of telling people no bed, we can't take this person, you'll go to the other place. Oh, that thing you can be doing, you're sending people from one point to another, the person is dying. So when you reach someone and the person you say, but then they can't put the machine on you, they say, but the person is not living, the person is not breathing. So you see, it's serious. So the thing is not that people don't want to treat themselves. There are too many factors responsible. Sometimes you don't even have it. There are some people living with sickness. They ain't got money to treat themselves. They ain't got no money. They just there living with that sickness. It's in them, it's killing them. A guy who I just saw the other day, 2, 3 months ago, I just heard he died from cancer in the States. Somebody who was here the other day came to visit his wife. He left and he died from cancer. So there are a lot of things happening, and
Yeah.
we need to do something about it. So the issue at JFK is very serious. We know there are some people who are, they are very unprofessional. But this is our country. Look, it is time that you can have a multi-million dollar company in your country. They're digging your gold, they're digging your diamonds, and the roads in that county is deplorable. They don't even have a referral hospital in that place. You know, these are things that look in some countries. Then you go say, yeah, my man, y'all can't do business in our country. Yeah, okay, before you do business in the country, yeah, and you say you won't do business, you won't be here for the next 10 years. Okay, you will build a hospital that will cost $3 million or $4 million because what you will be taking here, it will be more than that. You will build the other thing, you will build. Look at on Broad Street today, where the International Bank used to be. Do you see the building that is there? And so look at that building, state of the art. Look at that kind of building that they put over there. And see the other building there around it. On the principal street of Monrovia, Broad Street. Oh, look at the sidewalk, the people. Oh, man. Esther, you need to go and see that place. See how beautiful the place is. But yeah, look at all the other building there around it. It can't even bring out the beauty of that building because you got building there around it that are not painted. But we say we got city ordinance. So it is time that the government need to come in and say, look, this is Broad Street. This is the principal street of Monrovia. So all the houses there, that all the buildings that are on Broad Street, the facing should be modern. If you can put up modern something to beautify the street, then I think after a certain time we have to, tell you to either auction the building or do something. But everybody, because that Broad Street, see some of the building they were on Broad Street, people ain't want paint their building. People ain't want to do nothing. You see? So the country, I don't know, man. I don't know when Liberia will get better, or maybe Liberia will get better when some of us in our grave. Seriously, because I don't know. We say we got leaders then, but our leaders then, they don't see the right things to do. The city mayor, you're supposed to get on these people back. The city ordinance law is there. Well, let's take a few comments, and Esther, we can read the comments from Facebook.
Yeah, I can do that from my phone.
Yeah. So after the comments, we'll take calls and then we leave from here. We're talking two important things this morning: the issue at the JFK and the recusal of the LDA officer in charge from the investigation because it's alleged that one of the vehicles that in his convoy was bought and gifted to him by a drug trafficker. So that's the information. But let's take a few comments, Esther.
Thank you. For in the comment section here, we have Favor L. Morris watching. We have Karike Pasewe. She's also watching. We have Melvin Johnson. He says we are 2029. We have Prince Canley says cow poo government. We have Hezekiah Dodo says, fellow Liberian members of government. Hezekiah, we cannot read this. This is too long
That's
for
the guy
us.
that bogey right in here.
I tell you.
You're now small man.
Welcome. We have Wilson Chuku Lepolu says, good morning, Freedom FM. My name is Wilson Lepolu, watching from Nizo community. We have Emmanuel Joe. He says, good morning, Freedom FM family. My name is Emmanuel Joe. I'm watching from Yekepa, Nima County. Bapin Paul Lee says, good morning, Freedom FM. I'm watching from Green Cooking Ship in Jerseyville. We have Lyric. He says active. We have Clarence Doer. He says good morning, Wendell and Esther. I'm Clarence Doer following this morning from our legal hustle ground. We have Romeo Omeo Colley says following from Kakata, Maigibi County. And we have Karike Pazi, where she says, thank you, Esther. Our people go to the hospital almost too late. But also the caregivers, such as nurses, personal caregivers, and doctors, need cautious education. Also specify 3 nurses from caregivers in Liberia. Everyone in the hospital is called nurse. Rose Nimlin Bella says good morning. We have Barbie and Bar says good morning. Following life along the famous Boy Avenue in DC. With regards to the cocaine gate, it's highly disappointing that the president has not had the courage to dismiss all linked drug security officials and submit them for prosecution. Instead, he has preferred investigations. How can alleged corporates investigate themselves? The president must dismantle the whole security system and constitute new one. In the midst of criminal accusations, position holders must learn to resign to face their names or save their names. Kadike passed away again says that no bad story is only to get money. I experienced it when I took my money there. We have Julie K. Rambo says I'm watching from Netherlands. Thank you guys. Good job. We Kadi again says Moreover really needs a strong city ordinance law implemented. We have Rose Lebanon Bella again says good morning, Freedom FM family. So far we know these are all I can get to.
Thank you very much. And it's time to hear from our people. You can now place your calls on 0776 104 104. We're taking Randy Dapo as our very first caller on the show. Randy Dapo, good afternoon from the motherland, Mama Liberia.
Yes, and good morning to you and Esther there. Wishing you guys a blessed new week and look forward to watching you guys this week. I just wanted to add my 2 cents because I think this situation is very sensitive. And I think as Liberian out here, we have seen so many things and we see so many processes and standards. So I would just like to add, I would like to start with the JFK. JFK, what the lawmaker described JFK just for killing, well, that's not a new acronym for that. When we were in Liberia, especially living on 12th Street, we knew what that name stand for. And we also used to call him up in garage as well, too. But having come this far, I think one of the problems when it comes to medical emergency or medical management in our country is we have to look at it from the journey of the patient being sick. I think one of the gaps that we have is the lack of local community centers. And like people say, I'm going to my primary doctor. Because the reason you see your primary doctor is to predetermine your growth and everything happening in your body. In Liberia, oftentimes people go to this hospital when they feel sick, and I think Esther said that. But over here in other countries, we have what we call preventive health care, and that's what Liberia don't have. Preventive health care is where Wendell, you don't have to be sick, but every year your doctor says, Wendell, we'll be seeing you after every 3 months, or you come for your annual visit, and they will work with you, do your blood work, and do everything inside. And at the end of the day, they will prescribe medication for you. And the clinic that has pharmacy or the pharmacy, That's something that need to be regulated. In Liberia, people are not pharmacists, but they're selling drugs. So if something goes wrong, how do you hold that person accountable when they are not licensed pharmacists? So I think we need to create a health management system. And then for JFK, I don't know the level of JFK today. Today, many hospitals have gone beyond the normal name of hospital. They have trauma 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And then the next thing is the transportation of the patient. When people get sick or people are going through medical emergency, you see people being put on the back of a motorcycle. They have to struggle through the traffic. Time even is of an essence. There's something called the golden rule. The golden time, rather, if somebody have a head injury from an accident, it take that few minutes before that person can die. That is the golden time. So how do we fix all those things? And but I hope that someday, we can have this conversation on this here, because a total medical, management system need a gap analysis. And I mean, I can help to discuss, but not in detail, because as a consultant, I can release all my, information like that. Now, coming up to the DEA, DEA, we have a structural failure in our country. Charles Taylor established the DEA because he knew that something like it was going to escalate at this level. Liberia used to be a happy place where we never had any issue. The only thing we used to say when your friend's smoking, oh, we don't like that guy. But things have changed now. We went to many people return with different attitude. Many people are looking at Liberia, looking at the strength, the weakness, and the opportunity for improvement for our country. So when the LDA was established, Charles Taylor wouldn't build a house, but Ellen came and put in some furniture, and President Weah came and put in the security measure. So what is President Bogart doing all those things? President Bogart now is in full swing of carrying on the operation. But the question here is, do we have an integrated LDA? An integrated LDA that look at the border lines, from the land borders to our coastal lines, to our airport, and to the joint security. And are we providing education about how to prevent drugs from circulating in the community, schools, place of worship, place of work? And then lastly, are we also encouraging our regional border countries to help give up the drugs? Because the drugs issue, if we think corruption is bad, the drugs issue is worse. Those guys don't joke. They come from unborn child in the man's stomach. They kill them. So I don't want to take much of the time, but I think this is a topic that maybe we can have time for us to discuss.
Exactly, Randy. We have some time during the course of the week, so we can elaborate more on this, because this is very important for our country and the people.
Yeah, and lastly, I just want to thank the gentleman from the LDEA to take that bold step to say, you know what, let me recuse myself from the investigation. That means that he's trying to show some mercy, and I hope that other government officials who are hiding in the closet will see what the man is doing and come out and be transparent to the people of Liberia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the voice of
yes, thank you, guys.
That's the voice of J. Randy Dapo, joining us from the United States. Let's take this person. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nimle, and let me say good afternoon to Darling.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is David King, an executive person Liberia for Justice. Good afternoon for my resident this evening. The afternoon, sorry.
Go ahead, David.
Mr. Nimle, it is quite unfortunate for our country. Today is a sad day in our country. As a matter of fact, you and I know the Unity Party came to power on the mantra of rescuing the Liberian public. But today, on the contrary, what the previous government was being accused of, the Unity Party is the one who is championing a cause of goods and drugs coming to our country. Yesterday, he said, George brought goods into the country. And if you said to us, George are bringing fruits. But Al Jazeera just proved that wrong. Al Jazeera reported and said, for 2024 to 2025, the importation of goods in Liberia increased to 80%. And that is alarming. More besides, the proliferation of cocaine being in our country, and Mr. Bwaka is behaving as if to say you don't know what is going on with our country. When the trio son of the president, which is Jojo Bwaka, have been accused by the cartel that he worked with them.
Okay.
And we have all people being turned over. Why Jojo cannot be turned over? You be on Piaco. Yeah, Piaco is the head of the DA. But you got to show Jojo Bwaka who letter of clarity. I mean, implicated him why the president get to the needful and tell his son to submit himself to an investigation so that he can get to the bottom of this thing. If he doesn't do that, then we know that President Bwaka himself involved with the drug issue.
Okay.
Because it is glaring that Jojo Bwaka went with the people of the Nimle. So we need a clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, David King. Thanks for your contribution. Let's take more calls. Let's come back to this caller. Let's talk to you. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, Edmund. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Let me say hi to Esther. I'm a proud member of Concern Library for Justice anyway. Looking at the ACO activities and the ballot language, the whole issue about the drugs came about, the name and mention in the car, basically, he took the step by putting it to excuse instead to be investigated. I don't know whether he was accepted, because if that was accepted, it was not going to be suggested to 48-hour investigation by the president again. So what I thought, the president needed not to give another 48 hours for an investigation to a justice minister that is not doing well for the country and even for the president himself. So that information, quickly ask Diago how you got this car. The government did not assign the car to you. If he got it by donation or with your own money, you can look at the document, and the president should have taken immediate decision by either suspending or dismissing Biako and subjecting him to investigation. But again, the responsibility again, they just intended to continuously cover up to stop the real need from coming up. That information is not new to the president. And if it is true that he actually received that vehicle from the cartel, then the president is actually being misled. He has not been informed. Why are you having NSA? Why are you having police when you can sit there as the president? And all of these guys supposed to get the kind of sensitive information and give it to you. Hey, the DFOs that you are using around here, he is not collaborating with the cartel in this country. You just go ahead, suspend the man for administrative reason, do your investigation when the actual information out, you dismiss it and suggest, hey. But if they will sit there for somebody to come out and pull the information up before you start coming up with some decision, I think the president in the serious mess. And I want to agree with Amara that the president was advised from the MI stage by the U.S. government that upon taking over the presidency, gave chance to the security that you met on ground for about 12 months before you come up with a decision. That is not able to intended to that the old guys that are on ground will be able to train the new guys that you are bringing on board. But what did they do? Under the EPS, it dismissed them. What did they do? You started chasing people from the police because quote unquote the one with George Russell submitted the acquisition. So the mess that the president found himself in here, the country today, the president should hold himself responsible.
Thank you.
For his son to be subjected to investigation, and all of the suspension and the dismissal, they just intended to call because they're going to be in court by now, but they are still passing around and not wondering what they are doing, not facing justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Edmo Kai. Let's talk to this person. This caller would do. Good afternoon. Okay, we having some network issue with that caller. So, callers on 0776 104 104 0806 500 104 0770 297 This person. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I almost cut you off because I was waiting on your response. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Nimle.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. I guess this is Hussein.
Thank you, big brother. Mr. Good afternoon to my friend. Yes, I'm Hussein Kewu, like you said. I called for the back of the National Transit Authority. Thank you so kindly for such a conversation. So, Mr. Nimle, the president had a very senior security meeting this morning at the Executive Marshal, which of course that we have ended, and there are serious actions will be taken by the president in a few days. Look, there's one disagreement. We need to have a special law criminal code in this country.
Do you care to give us some of the heads that will roll according to you that serious action will be taken by the president? I'm quite sure you are close to the power that be, so you got some information.
Yeah, so I cannot speak definitively, on that because I don't have the authority. But I can rest assure you that heads will roll because the president has had that meeting this morning at 10 o'clock. So yes, my issue is the issue of establishing a criminal code, a specialized criminal code. Look, when people are involved with corruption issues, the court process has destroyed some of these investigations. Look, people will go to court and you'll find out the years upon years, and all of those evidences will be destroyed. We need to have a specialized code that when people are faced with corruption allegations, so they can fast track some of these cases. Look, when you go to the court, you will feel disappointed. Lawyer will sign in for some of these cases, and then they will instruct the judge to not put the cases on the docket. So sometimes they go, yes, we cannot hear for some of these cases. And somebody will say the government is not prosecuting the people. No, President Baka has said, regardless of your presumptive, or whatever it takes, you will say the full weight of the Lord. But he cannot be the one telling the judge to assign to different cases in the court. You know what I mean? That is common logic for our people to understand. The president is sending them to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution. Those who have been dismissed, suspended, they have been forwarded to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice have forwarded in the court. But how is it that the judges are not fast tracking some of these cases? Those people are involved with corruption. It's not automatic that because the man is alleged of stealing money from government or vehicle, that meaning he's convicted. There are different processes and procedures. Government has to provide those evidences in the court beyond all reasonable doubt. Somebody said we have to, receive gift. No, Mr. Dimina, that act of receiving gift is corruption. So the government has to prove who gave in the gift, from what source, what intent. Before that can be adjudicated, that is a process. That is a process, Mr. Dimina. So I thought to share some of these things with our people. You cannot say the president is not doing nothing, the government is not doing nothing. The government is doing something because you there on the radio are recommending why the president are not speaking. Say this instead, he has spoken 3 different times, sending warning to those involved. That's leadership. That's leadership in the president. The willingness. In fact, he talks a just text and was talking and instructed every official who was appointed by this president, saying you should go for justice.
Okay.
Is that not leadership? Is that not leadership?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Hussein. Thank you very much. That's the voice of Hussein Kewu. Let's take this person. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Morning, Wendell.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night, and everything to you, Spencer Mohammed.
Yes, thank you very much. Wendell, I thank you for that significant recognition. Wendell and Esther, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call for Down Coast Polio, Winter Community, member of Concern Liberia for Justice. Look, Wendell, I want to commend the media. I want to commend people like you who have stood tall, regardless of all of the intimidations from the government of the day. We want to commend you people for your continuous advocacy that is now yielding results today. We are seeing people like the LTA commander recusing himself. We want to say thank you, people. Unlike those people who took money thing, you guys are shameless. You guys don't even need to come on the media to talk again. The only thing you guys need to do is Ryan to stay based, to openly come to the media station, use it to apologize to President Weah and all of us that you guys insulted over the years. Look at the kind of disgraceful thing you're talking about. Government provided 2 ambulances, 2 drugs from where Bumi County to where Masumaro County, they say government fighting drugs. Why are we fighting here? Why are you fighting, Hussein? What do you guys do? You guys do. It's sometimes when we look at your attitude, you would think of the President Weah. The kind of energy that you guys have over the last 6 years, for which you instructed us, for which you degraded President Weah, for which you denigrated and desecrated our executive branch, the kind of energy, you're putting out today. Don't let shamelessly, you guys, bro, Jose,
Thank you.
Wendell, sometimes we look at the guys' attitude, we don't know what to say, but we say, thank God for President Weah, and thank you people for your consistency. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the voice of Spencer Mohammed. Let's talk to this person. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, Patience, welcome to the show. Let's hear you. I know, right? Okay. I've seen it. Thank you. Thank you, the Patience Gray. That's the voice of Patience Gray. We can squeeze in 2 more calls, and then we leave from here at 12:30. The program from the Pre-News. 0776 104 0886 500 104 0770 297 016. We got a few more minutes to be here, so we can take 2 more calls on this issue, and then we go home. Let's take this person, second to the last caller. Hello? Yeah, good afternoon. Is this Ambrose Tobani?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ambrose. Let's hear you. They realize need none need of my part give you. They need why your my part give you that the name will be calling Ambrose Sobani. They realize that the need you to give people when they go look for you. Then they say realize. Oh no, that real. Go ahead.
I want to comment on the issue of the JFK.
Okay.
JFK, I hate to say this, but if you don't have money, forget about JFK. Trust me. I had something called last 2 years ago. I had to sell a mirror that I had to get at JFK. I got today, they see me. But other than that, I wasn't gone. You know, I couldn't breathe. If I walk just across a road, I got to stop for 5 minutes to take a breath.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on. But I had to sell my car to make it through. So, you know, it's not that way as a governmental, you know, entity. The government really got to find means for people who don't always have it.
Okay.
You know, it's a payment plan, you come over here. But that's why people dying over there. And if you don't have the money, forget it. $20 US to see doctor. I pay $20 US. Yeah. Tell to the doctor. I said test for all the other warnings. And he said it. So you're leaving this kind of thing, huh? Well, you're $20 plenty money for you. Before you see the doctor, you're down.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you, Ambrose. Let's take this person as our last caller. Hello. Yeah, let's hear you quickly. No time. Please tell us your name and take your 1 minute quickly.
My name is Jeremiah Wasi here, calling from district number 17 to be precise, Adonai New Community.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you very much for the topic on discussion, and thank you to my comrade for finding oneself about GFK. And I would like to speak on the issue of GFK too.
Okay. Go ahead quickly now. You're our last caller.
I regret the meaning of our war GFK out of be a government hospital. We are dying every day. Our people are dying in GFK, just people of Dato or March. The government hospital has turned to a private hospital under the regime of President Joseph Yuma Boga and the former President George Mary. We are in down former presidents here over the past years. We suffer a major sickness and a sickness that can be cured by our people that we trust. I went to medical school to heal up. They don't care. All they care about money. You hear saying you go to GFK to say to look at pharmacy. And we are begging the government, we are begging the people of abroad. These are some of the things that we have to stand on.
Thank you. These are some of the things that we got to stand on. So says our very last caller. So on this note, we want to say thank you to all of you for your contribution. Those of you who sat there and played the listening role, want to say thank you. And those of you who call in on the show to make your contribution, we say a very big thank you to you. And those of you who sat there watching us this morning to the afternoon, we want to appreciate all of you. But before I go, I just want to wish Junior brother happy birthday. Today, my nephew is also celebrating his birthday, Lawrence Boya Nimne. Happy birthday to you, nephew. And today is also the birthday of a junior brother, like I said, Michael Montero Nyakun of Nuclear Town. Happy birthday to all of you. All right, so on behalf of the team, we'll be here tomorrow, same time, same station, God's willing. Until then, do have a pleasant Monday. Bye-bye.
I can't stand no more.